So before we start, let's all take a moment to be sad about what's going on with Conway Stewart. Conway Stewart has been a staple in the pen community for a really long time, and as far as I know, they are ceasing to exist or have ceased, which is a pity. It's always a pity when a pillar of a community passes on. So that is too bad. Now let's stop being sad, because I get to review today the Conway Stewart Churchill. This is one of the pens that was loaned to me by a family member to review, and I'm really excited because this is a pen I've always kind of wanted to get to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the pieces of the pen. I'm going to give this pen some ratings out of 5. I'm going to rate the design, the comfort, and the writing experience. I'm going to do a writing sample, and then we'll be done. So let's start with the cap. It's got a nice flat top, which is got a really vintage feel. This whole pen has a vintage feel, and that big flat top is part of that. It is shiny polished, and it's not straight flat across, so it's slightly domed. It's got bands across it there, and then a rhodium trim band around. I'm assuming it's rhodium trimmed. Then you got the clip, and the clip is again very vintage feel. A big kind of square, and it goes out, and it's got the ball at the end, which is to protect your shirt in and out without tearing it. Nice spring to it, and show you it's got the Conway Stewart logo there. Nice wide, another rhodium trim band there, and it's really nice. And you get the barrel, and this barrel again feels kind of vintage. It's in, goes out a bit, in again. I like that shape. It's got a thin rhodium trim band there, and it's a lever filler, which is, I think, super cool, because it is a very elegant filling system built into the pen. Now this pen, I believe, postdates when they fixed this system. There were problems with the Churchills where they positioned the J bar incorrectly, I believe. So when you worked the lever, it was cutting it and causing leaking. That's not the case here. Then you have the section. And actually, I really like the fact that this section has these two silver-colored, rhodium-trimmed bands again here, because you don't see them unless the pen is uncapped. Unscrew, surprise, 2 more bands. I think it's neat. The threads are really far up. Here's a section, and here are the threads, so you don't feel them at all. You'll never, unless you hold your pen really crazy far back, you'll never have your fingers on them. Not that they're sharp, but that's how it is. Now it's got a nice long section, which I like. It's got an hourglass shape, which I find really comfortable, and I think this pen is really nice to hold. It fits in my hand great. It's got a good weight to it, really comfortable. Now, this pen belongs to someone who does not post their pens, and I would never just post someone's pen without. It's just not a good thing, because what if they don't? And this person I know doesn't. But just to show you, you could post it. Makes the pen incredibly long, top heavy. I can't imagine why I don't want to, but I guess you could if you wanted to. I'm not going to push that on there. So section's comfortable. Brings us to the nib. Let's zoom in on that. The nib is two-toned in that the Conway Stewart logo is gold colored and the rest is rhodium trim. It says Conway Stewart, 18 karat gold, and IB for italic broad. And you can see that nib is very wide, and it makes for a kind of a nice, great writing experience. Really smooth nib. It's a little bit difficult to set it correctly with these kind of nibs. Once you do, it just writes really nicely. You'll see it in the writing sample. So those are the parts of the pen. I'm going to give you the ratings now. So for the design, I give it a 4.5. I like the design. Actually, I changed my mind. I give it a 5. I really like the design of this pen. I think that it has kept all of the best aspects of a vintage pen. Great filling system, big flat top. This pen looks just like it could come out of somebody's vintage collection, but it's been made in the modern day. Really nice. So I really like the design. I give it a 5. For comfort, I give it a 4.5. Really comfortable. Fits my hand nicely. Great weight. I like holding this pen. I like the plastic. So that's really good. So for the writing experience, I give it a 4.5. Interesting nib. It gives it natural line variation the way that it's cut. You'll see in the writing sample. And the ink flow is nice and wet. Good nib. So this pen is pretty near perfection. It's really great. I really like it. The only bad thing about borrowing someone's pen to review is you have to give them back. And it's a pity. This one's great. So, give you some measurements. The length is 146 millimeters. Unposted is 140. Posted is 181. Crazy big. Also, not firmly posted, just touching it. The section is 15 millimeters? No, 11.5. I'm sorry, I misread that. 11.5 millimeters at the narrowest, which is nice. Around 11.5 I've discovered is a really ideal size. And the weight is 29 grams. So decent weight, 29 grams. So what I'm going to do next is a writing sample, and we're out of here. Let's do a writing sample. This is a Conway Stewart Churchill. The nib is IB, and the ink is I believe it's the Iroshizuki ink. It's pink anyways. It came to me inked up, so I'm not 100% certain. So let's do some writing. Now, I can't think of anything clever to write, so let's just do the old standby. That jumps over the lazy British Bulldog. Alright, now this pen is really nice to write with. Very smooth, nice ink flow. Once you get going, it's going. It is really nice to write with. You have to set it just right because of the italics nature of it. But if you look, there is natural line variation to it. So very thin there, wider. Thin, wider, thin, wider, thin, wider. Just really nice. It is a 18 karat gold nib, so it is relatively soft. You'll get some line variation. There's no pressure, no more pressure, some more pressure, some more pressure, and then no pressure again. So there's not a lot. I'm not pushing very hard. It's not my nib. It's not my place to push this. So, but still it is really nice to write with. You set your nib right, and it just will go, which is nice. Quick writing, let's see, it'll be a little bit different because of the nature of the nib, but So the nib does keep up when you're writing quickly. Wetness. This is a very wet pen. Oh, see? Even those ones I wrote a while ago. Nice steady ink flow, nice and wet. Not sopping wet. So that's actually pretty good. Can you write in the reverse? You can a little bit, but it dries out right away. It is not good for that, which is fine. Should I doodle? I should doodle Winston Churchill, but I don't really know what he looks like. Well, I do know what he looks like, but I don't know if I can reproduce it. So I'm just going to draw a dinosaur. And in honor of Winston Churchill, he can be smoking a big fat cigar and maybe wearing a bowler hat. There you go. So that's the rain sample. Thanks for watching. If you like the if you like the video, feel free to comment or subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more coming. But until then, goodbye.